First of all, let's start with the Davido track that I just played. It's called Intro. It's off of his new album called A Good Time.
You're gonna get Wale started.
It's okay.
So Wale you have a take on this album. Now, for those that don't know, and Danny, just so you know, Davido is like one of the biggest acts out of Nigeria.
Third biggest.
He's like top 3 biggest acts out of Nigeria.
All right.
And are you familiar with Afrobeat?
I know Afrobeat.
Okay, so it's one of our biggest. Is like the biggest genre out of.
She said she's heard of Wizkid. Have you heard of Burna Boy before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. But he's one of our biggest acts, and there's been a push lately to enter the American market, the American music market. A lot of artists have been.
I feel like he's been the
He's been pretty good at it.
Yeah. I would say
Wizkid.
he's been the biggest
I'm sorry.
in America so far.
Wizkid has you've heard of Wizkid. He had a song with Drake. He had that one dance song with Drake.
Right.
But Burna Boy is like the new guy in town as far as at least the American market is concerned, right?
Okay.
And so, you know, we talk about them a lot, and Davido just happens to be the next in line who just dropped an album. He dropped an album for the first time in a couple years. He hasn't dropped an album in a while. So it's been kind of a big deal within the...
I think it's been 7 years.
Yeah, within the African community.
Wow.
There's been a lot of hype. He's had singles that have actually streamed here in the United States.
On the radio, they
singles
still
like
play it.
If,
Okay, so-
Fall. So it's a pretty big deal. And so this album was very much anticipated. So he just dropped it. It's called A Good Time. Wale, what's your take?
You want to get him started? Go ahead now. Let's hear
Nah,
it.
I mean, look, I listened to the album a couple times.
What's your first take?
My first take,
Or
like
your first
unfiltered
impression.
first take of listening to the album, is what is this? But that was
Really?
because I listened to the leaked version,
Okay.
which didn't sound.
The quality
The
wasn't
quality wasn't as good.
there. Okay.
And I was saying it, I wanted to listen to it drop on iTunes first before I can, judge. I dropped on iTunes, and obviously, well, my first take, even the leaked version, intro, the track you played, stood out to me from the jump, And I know people say you got to listen to albums like 10 times to really appreciate it, but I also judge an album on first listen.
Okay.
Based on, I feel like every time you listen to an album, you discover new songs. It shouldn't take you 20 listens to like an album.
Fair.
You should be able to like it from the first listen. But then as you go on, you start
Should appreciate
discovering,
it more, right.
dang, this is on there. Oh, shit, I didn't appreciate it. And to be honest, only intro, that one track you
Was
played,
the only track
was the
that
only track
stood
that I felt in the beginning.
Okay.
And I told you, I wrote it in there before you listened to it. I said, this is going to be the song,
Okay.
And funny enough, he actually tweeted about that too, saying the song is going to be played for years to come and stuff like that. It's a good song.
Why didn't he name it something else? He should have named it an
I
intro.
don't know. Meek Mill had
did-
intro,
it-
and
it
intro
deserved-
worked out for Meek. So
It did.
worked out. So
Okay.
and then I started listening to it more when it dropped, and there are a few other tracks that have started to grow on me. But the problem I have is, and I saw someone trying to say don't compare, but comparison is what makes people grow, what makes things better.
Okay.
Burna Boy just dropped the album of the year. He just got nominated for a Grammy off that album. It's not. This is the first time in a long time in Afrobeat. I don't even think it's happened. I think the last time was them Femi Kuti and Fela, but Burna Boy's album, he dropped it. On there, he talks about getting a Grammy, and he got the nomination. He got the nod.
Huge.
And that album
Huge.
is it's a classic. And he dropped an album last year too. Let's not forget the one that had Ye outside.
Yes.
All right. that's
Yeah,
good.
outside.
Yeah.
And you can see the quality increase. You can see the
Evolution.
evolution.
Yeah.
You can see the determination. You can see that this boy wants a Grammy. It didn't feel. I don't want to ever say anyone who drops an album is lazy.
Yeah.
But I feel the word is comfortable.
Okay.
I feel Davido's album is too comfortable. Like it's Davido. It's
Yeah,
what you expect
I
from
agree.
Davido. It's not
Nothing
Burna
different
Boy.
at
Oh,
all.
did you listen to the album?
I'm a Burna Boy stan. I'm a
Okay.
Wizkid stan, but I'm a Burna Boy stan, and I've been fucking with Burna Boy for probably 10 years now, man. But when you listen to the album,
Yeah.
you don't have to be a Burna Boy fan to be like, God damn,
So,
this
like,
is
really,
good.
yeah, to enjoy it.
I feel like with this one, you almost have to be his fan to really, really appreciate it because it's what you're used to that he does.
Nothing different.
Nothing
He didn't give us
different.
anything different.
And they're gonna songs are gonna be played on the radio. They're gonna be played in the clubs. They're gonna do all that. But as far as like the push to beat that album Burner dropped, it's not close. But he's smart. One thing he did that was smart, and that's having a good management in the US is he put the singles If and Fall that came out 3 years ago on
the
there. So the album already debuts at like what diamond, is it gold? Gold, I think it's gold.
Oh, really?
I think it's gold is 500,000.
500,000.
And I'm sure those streams have
Easily.
probably easily gotten him. So
Easily.
that's smart. You know,
He had
obviously
millions of
that
streams
record
off of
will come. That those plaques will come based off of that. But as far as the quality of the album,
It just wasn't.
was
it's
just
not a
there.
whack album. My first reaction is it's whack, but it's not whack.
Yeah.
It's just not what I wanted him to give me. I wanted him to give me that, you know what, we have Burner pushing for a Grammy. Now we have Davido pushing for a Grammy.
Yeah.
He didn't give it to me.
And I have to agree with you. I think you're right. It wasn't anything new. I didn't think it was whack.
Yeah, I take that back.
So
wasn't
the way
whack.
I
It wasn't
judge,
whack,
the
yeah.
way I judge albums is if I'm listening to it on the first go, and at least there are 3 new songs that I've never heard before that I instantly like.
Yes. Oh yeah, the
That-
last song, the song
that's-
with Yonder too. I like that song.
That's
too, the
like
last
my
song.
rule. And if
Yeah.
there are at least 3,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna give this album a chance, and that's what I did. The first track, intro, boom, I loved it.
Yeah.
The second track, I actually didn't mind it.
I like
it was a nice
Disturbance.
track.
I like this. That Disturbance.
Even Check'em,
Is that this? No, Emilia, I didn't like Emilia, but I like Disturbance.
even Check'em, I enjoyed. The Yonder track,
That's the last one. That's a crazy track.
dope track.
You know.
Dope track. Yonder was the same guy that was on
He signed him. It's his
yeah, but he was the same guy that was on Red Handed.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
the one guy that I didn't know back then that was on
So
Red
you know,
Handed.
it's not whack. Like I said, first listen, it sounded whack because of the quality of the album. But when it dropped on iTunes, I listened to it in the car.
Yeah.
it's different. It sounds better, but it's like, bro, even Wiz Kid's next album too. I feel like the pressure is on him because
Yeah.
you can't really call yourself number one.
Is
or
he working on something
He
right
has an album coming out, Made in Lagos.
Oh, nice.
And I think he's been pushing it for a while. And I think he might be, I don't want to say scared, but I think he might be trying to perfect the album. Because, you know, it's like the standard we had before is we drop the album, people in Nigeria like it, and somehow it makes its way across wherever. But then when you have Burner's album, who came up with, first of all, the promo run Apple Music gave him, because they put him as their next, what's that thing called? Apple Next Rated or whatever. They had him on there for a month. They had him on Jimmy Fallon. They had, like, the promo shows that, all right, people are interested now.
Yeah.
Just give us the quality we want. So the levels have changed.
Yeah.
What you would put out last year is different from what you're going to put out now, because now we're actually seeing Grammy nominations off this thing. So quality of work has to be different. You can't be
Yeah.
comfortable.
Things.
You can't give us the same sound
I
anymore.
agree.
you know?
But you can. I think it depends on what audience you're going after and the
Okay.
way it came across, right? Even though I agree that it didn't sound like there was any kind of maturation in his song sound. He was comfortable, yes. And you can look at it in that context, but just in the context of enjoying an album, it was a decent album.
You know, yes.
It was a decent album.
After more listens, it's flows more.
And
It's
I think
me,
with
yeah.
time, right? With time, I think
It
maybe
grows on you.
It will grow on you.
With
to
time,
it's
it'll grow on more
Davido
people.
is any song Davido drops grows on you.
So what are the standout tracks for you?
I think the intro.
Intro, yeah.
I think the song with Peruzzi, Disturbance.
Disturbance,
The song with Summer Walker,
It was okay.
DNG.
it's kind of like I don't know why they keep putting this guy with this film. It was like the one he did with Tinashe. Was it Tinashe?
Yeah.
Tanache, yeah.
It wasn't really.
You are feeling it.
Yeah,
It was like that's not his crowd, you know. Like, you know, the one he has with A Boogie is pretty okay. You know, that's more of his
Style.
style.
I feel
you
like
know.
yeah, but I feel like they could have done more.
I think
with
they
that
could have
song,
done
man.
more too.
I feel like
you
they could
know.
have done more.
And that's what I'm
Especially with
saying.
Gunna on there.
I feel like there's a lot. There's a lot of songs on there that I feel like could have done more. I mean, the song,
I liked Anima Sound.
the best
with
song
Yonder.
on the album. I mean, the song
Anima
with,
Sound. Why you say it like that? Like you're not Yoruba.
Isn't that what I said? Anima Sound.
No.
the song he has with Chris Brown, the
Blow My Mind.
Blow My Mind. You know, it's
I like that song.
I like it.
I like it.
It's a radio song,
Right,
and it does
right.
its job. You know, and it was I think aside from the singles, that might be the best song on the album. Well, intro, and then I'd say that. So
So why do you keep saying comfortable?
Because so Davido, we have three. It's like a three. Afrobeats is like a three-headed snake.
Monster.
It's like a three-headed monster.
Yes.
We have. It started off with Wizkid, and I asked you. I said, "Have you heard of Wizkid?" You don't know who he is, but you've probably heard the name before. And to me, I feel like that's number one because Wizkid is the first. Well, it's not really the first to break, but he's the first to kind of get integrated a little bit. Where you might not know his face, but you've heard the name.
Yes.
And if you play a song, you might be like, "Oh yeah, I heard that song." And usually, what's happened in Nigeria is, once something happens to Wizkid, next is Davido. So Wizkid sells out the O2 Arena in London, Davido sells it out next. If Wizkid ever sold out Madison Square Garden, Davido would be next in
So
line.
for the longest time, it was both.
both of them.
and they were like competing.
Now-
and you had the Wizkid fans, you had
Yes.
the Davido fans.
So-
and they had huge fan bases, and they were
And
selling out shows.
they've been pushing each other. They've been
Yes.
pushing each other. Now, both of them haven't dropped an album in a long time.
Yes.
They've also have this beef going on. They've not been on a record together by themselves. They probably would never, but they claim they love each other, whatever.
Yeah.
Now,
And then this
Burna
guy,
Boy came.
Some guy called Burna Boy.
he's been on the low for a few years now. He's been gradually progressing. He's been growing his fan base. In fact, people used to call him overrated. People called him underrated, overrated, and everything. And now he's like the one carrying the flag. And Burna Boy did it in a different way, management-wise, and just the way he rebranded himself. And his music has started to, grow. And now he's the front runner.
Yes.
And he dropped an album.
and he was Grammy nominated.
He was
recently.
Grammy nominated. So
And that's a big deal. That's the one thing.
yeah.
A lot of